evening, everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partner in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I haven't done an accent in quite some
You
time, so I felt like
haven't.
I needed to give you an accent tonight. I'm doing
I,
quite well, besides a boo boo on my finger that I tried to cut my
oh,
finger off tonight. So,
oh, that's always fun. Don't do
other
that.
than that, I'm doing fantastic and very much looking forward to the insanely wacky and wonderful Christie Ayers that I adore so much.
I know. Okay,
She
you
makes me
guys.
laugh.
I have to tell you, she is one of our good friends and always makes us laugh. Still has one of the best lines ever when we say, something. Go ahead, Blake. Tell the line.
So, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you in your entire career as paranormal investigator? And her answer was, "My kids."
Yeah.
And I will
So
always remember that as my favorite line ever out of a guest that we've ever had on the show.
I agree. I agree. It made me laugh. So we want to go ahead and introduce to you our special guest. Her name is Christie Ayers, and she is the owner of the Stevenson building, the new owner. She had owned it before, took a little break, then came back and owned it again in Wymore, Nebraska. And she has recently opened it up to public investigations. She is a paranormal investigator and a paranormal preservationist. She is in the process of restoring the Stevenson building. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our friend Christie Ayers. Hi, Christy. How are
Hi, I'm
you?
laughing at that.
At
But
what?
I
the
was
the
sitting here
line,
going, "Oh God, what did I say?" And I actually thought it was going to be me saying my son's room, because that is
Oh,
scarier than all my kids. And he's almost 30, and it's still my son's room is the
oh,
scariest
jeez.
place I've ever been. So,
I love that. So tell me. We were talking a little bit in before the show started about how you came to own the Stevenson building again because you owned it prior. So tell us how kind of that went down.
this is like the craziest story. It just wouldn't be my life if it wasn't crazy.
Hmm.
A lot of people do know that I did own it before, and as history would have it, because when this building was first built in like 1881, around that time period, somebody actually stole the building from the original owner, who then won it back a couple years later. So I owned it initially with two other people, and they took it from me. And 3.5 years later, I got it back. So, and it's kind of crazy how that happened. So the guy who I initially bought it from also owned the building that's attached, because these are like the old Western types, the long buildings where
Hmm.
there's a shared staircase between the two. And so he owned it initially, sold it to me, and then there are some structural issues in the front. And so that was causing a bit of a problem. They didn't want to fix it. They didn't want the liability. And so the person who owned it was like, I just got to get rid of the building. I don't want it anymore. Like he just didn't want to fix it. He doesn't want to deal with it. He was afraid of whatever the case may be. So he went to the original guy who sold it to me and was like, I'll sell it back to you for whatever it costs to get my name off the deed, because he panicked.
Wow.
And then he
man,
turned around and gave it back to me.
Wow.
wow.
Yes.
I think this building
And
was just destined to be yours.
I think so too, because everything that's happened and whatever, and the 3.5 years were really tough. And a lot of that had to do with the amount of things that I had in this building. There were family heirlooms. There were photos of my children,
Hmm.
so much stuff that belonged to me that they were refusing to return. And I have text messages where they're like, "Oh, we would never do that," but then they would not let me in. I was told my name mysteriously disappeared off the deed. And I was told that if I came in here, it was breaking and entering and stealing my own things. And so the funniest thing though is when I when I walked in, the poster was still hanging on the wall with the newspaper article with my face. Person buys the Steams. I'm like, you're literally denying that this is my building, and there's me and my face as soon as you walk in the door. Um,
I'd have gone in with the cops to go, who does this look like to you? Huh?
yeah,
Who does that look like?
yep.
That
And
looks like me, right?
unfortunately, that wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, and this is one of the greatest, most ironic things ever that just I I die every time I see it. So one of those people still live in town. And he right before a lot of this went down, he bought a giant red truck, biggest, reddest truck you've ever seen. And it cost him a shit ton of money every month. And then he went and spent all this money and put the Stevenson logo really big on the side, and he can't get it off. So he is,
Oh,
I will see that truck, and every time I'm like, free advertisement.
Free advertising.
advertising, that's
Screw me
exactly
I
right.
over.
was so about to say that. Free
I
advertising.
crack up every time, every single time, and he avoids me like the plague. But I still see his truck every now and then, and I'm just like, karma's a bitch, only if you're a bitch.
That's right. So how big is the town of Wymore? Is this a person you're going to run into a lot? Is it that small of a town, or is it a bigger town? I've only been to have only been in Nebraska once and went to Omaha. That was it.
Yeah.
Omaha, Nebraska. It's the only time I've ever been. Whereabouts is it? And how big is it?
So Wymore is about 2 hours south of Omaha, and it's
Okay.
about 12. I think the population is 1,200.
Decent
So it's
size.
small. However, they are just about to open a new medical facility 2 blocks away from me. Somebody just opened up an inn and a coffee shop. Somebody opened up a gym. We just had a butcher shop open up. It looks like there's about 4 historical homes that are all being refurbished, just
Nice.
redone. I believe one of them is Sam Wymore's original home, and it
Okay.
looks like they are redoing it to its original glory, and it is amazing.
Wow.
And so Wymore is about to be big. Beatrice, which is 10 miles from us, 10 miles north of us, they just opened another big medical facility. Well, they opened one a couple years ago in there, and it's stretching closer and closer to Lincoln. Lincoln's growing. They're putting in all new infrastructure like highways. Before you know it, Wymore is going to be its own exit. So
I love that.
I'm like, I lucked into literally it's going to be prime property here
Love that.
in
That's awesome.
probably the next 10 years. Yeah. So my
awesome.
goal is to make all of Wymore one of those super cool, like ghost towns, like Virginia City, Nevada, and whatever, because you know what? It just belongs there. It has the history, it has the ghost story, it has everything. I've done just tours around the, the main street here of all the ghost sightings and things like that. So
Tell
What
us
is
about
it-
some of
phenomenal.
those.
That's what I was about to say.
Um,
What is it about the town that makes it such a hot spot, I guess you could say, for paranormal?
So this town was known as Sin City to the West back in the 30s. It was founded by Sam Wymore in 1881, and I'm thinking it was 1882, 1883 that this building in particular was put here, but we have not been able to pinpoint an exact date for the building itself. He didn't give it to George Stevenson until 1901, and we only know that because we found one photo and the top of the building says Stevenson 01.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's
Really?
just this
Convenient.
black and white photo. So much stuff actually happened within this building itself that a lot of like the photos and the footage, I have film footage of things that happened here. And most of it's filmed like right in front of the building itself. And so like it's they miss a lot of it. And it's kind of like right in the center of the road of what would have been Main Street. And so it doesn't really capture from either end. But this town was a major hub for gangsters, Al Capone and the Dillinger Gang, Mob Barker Gang. I recently found an article where Mob Barker Gang was here. I found something out so fascinating. A lot of people don't know this, but right now the Squirrel Cage Jail in Iowa, they're going through a transition period. And so I do all their paranormal stuff. I do all their booking. I do all their overnight, like things like that. So I work for them as well. And so, in going through their archives over the last month and a half or so, I actually found, oh God, what is his name? It's Thomas, uh, crud, I can't forget his name. I'll remember as I'm talking, I'm sure.
Okay.
But this particular person, was part of one of the more famous gangs, and he got caught. I want to say, so they came out here and they did a bank robbery. They escaped out here. It was him and three other people. Three of those people ended up getting shot and killed. So they escaped through the tunnels, believed to be the tunnels that started underneath the Stevenson building. I can't prove that yet, but I'm working on it. And so they escaped out these tunnels and they ended up in this little camp town. It's called Kinney, and it's like 7 miles out of town. The FBI caught up with them, shot and killed three of them, and then this Thomas guy ended up getting arrested. And now here's where I figure all this out. So he ends up getting arrested, and at some point ends up being held in the squirrel cage jail. He then gets sent to Leavenworth prison and then on to Alcatraz. Well, this guy was one of the four people that escaped from Alcatraz.
Oh, wow.
I learned all of this from archives, and I was just like, "What the heck?" Because the name sounded familiar. I'm gonna have to look him up and tell you because I'm just drawing a blank.
I bet Blake can Google them real fast and the four people that escaped from Alcatraz allegedly. Yeah, I bet he can probably find that.
Well, the alleged you're talking the 1962, yeah, the one in 1962.
Yeah, it's Thomas something. Thomas, it's like, oh gosh.
Unless he went by a middle name, the names that I have here are Frank Morris, John England, Clarence England, and a fourth conspirator, Alan West. So unless he had a middle name that he went by, I don't know.
No, I'll look it up for you guys and
Okay.
I'll tell you who it is because I
Absolutely.
can't remember. But I found I was looking up his name specifically because I was like, why is it? Because I was looking for him in the archives at the Squirrel Cage Jail. And so I'll find it and I'll make sure that I post it because it's just incredible. And so, but I just was like floored. I was like, how does that? And here I am at the Stevenson, and then I work at the Squirrel Cage. I'm like, it's just weird to me.
So wait a minute. Now you said something that very much piqued my interest.
Mhm.
Tunnels under the Stevenson building. Can you get
Yes.
into them?
No, they had to close all the tunnels off for structural reasons throughout the whole town. So there used to be about 2 blocks from me was the Tuzalon Hotel, and this was
Mhm.
like a 3-story hotel, a very prestigious hotel. I posted a picture of God, well, I'm blanking on everybody's name. Was it Roosevelt? No, it wasn't Roosevelt. One of the presidents spoke in front of the hotel, and I posted the picture the other day. Sorry, my brain is not here today.
That's okay.
But I'm going to do some more research on that because I guess it was really well documented, but I've only been able to find one photo. And the only reason I know for sure that it is front of that hotel is because the hotel had some very distinctive designs, and you can see those in the background. So that hotel was a major stop for people, again, the gangsters, mobsters, things like that. And the train station used to be about a block from the hotel. Well, in order to heat the hotel, they ran steam heat. So all the tunnels that run under the city were initially built for steam heat, mainly to heat that hotel. Then, when they no longer needed the steam heat, the tunnels were open. So then people started using the tunnels to travel safely through town because the crime on the streets got so bad that
Oh,
people were trying to, just bypass it. Well,
Yeah.
eventually, those tunnels, the crime in the tunnels got even worse than the street. So then they built another set of tunnels run by a private police force to police the tunnels.
Golly.
Yes, and I've seen maps. I've seen a map, and I've been trying to locate it. It used to be in this building, but I think unfortunately that was one of the things that was taken out. But there are maps of where those tunnels were and the police tunnels and all that stuff. And so I'm trying to locate that again. Because unfortunately, I think nowadays too, like without proof, it's really just what I'm telling you. And
right.
unfortunately, I don't like that. Like, I want people to be able
Yeah.
to see that what I'm telling you really happened. And I don't know, it's just cooler to see it anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, but because of all the tunnels, eventually you don't want sinkholes, you don't want the streets getting weaker, things like that. So they did fill them all in. However, it looks like in the basement where one of the tunnels used to be. It looks like the brick is kind of falling out a little bit. I'm gonna have to repair. I mean, it's got to be repaired, but the weird part is on either side. On the right side, if you've seen that photo where there's like the skull,
Mhm.
that's actually just formed in the wall next to the tunnel. And now randomly
Wow.
there's another one forming on the other side.
That's weird.
And I'm just
Wait,
like,
these are photos that you've taken of this where this brick's falling down.
yeah, so that photo that says Stevenson and it's the
Oh,
skull, that's just,
yeah.
yeah, that's a photo of the wall in the basement to the right side of what would have been the tunnel. And the same exact thing is now started on the other side, and I have no explanation for that. So
It's the ghost. Tell me, what kind of ghost do you have there? I want to know the kind of spookies I'm in for when I come up to the Stevenson building.
they're horrible. No, I'm just
Are
kidding.
they? That's awesome.
No.
I'm here for it.
You know that I don't think they're really that bad. I do think sometimes they get angry. There's definitely one thing that I have struggled to explain, and that is the pounding on the wall. So if you see the wall behind me, well, not that, but this, it's basically just like, what do you call it? The wood paneling.
The panel.
Well, behind this is it's just brick and plaster,
Okay.
and it's about 4 inch, like 4 lengths of brick thick. So 2 for me, 2 for the building next door to this side. Well, on this other side of me here is an old insurance building that has been abandoned for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. The roof is falling in. And then even when you walk into the door, there is another shared staircase, but the shared staircase goes down into a basement. It does not go upstairs. So even if you were on the other side of this in that building, there's no way you're going to punch this wall and you're going to hear anything. And it's just not possible. It doesn't, you can't punch brick like that and even make a noise. But what I
Right.
get a lot of times, it sounds like somebody is all out, like full force punching this wall. And it will happen, it happens in the same place, which is like up front, in the front room. And it's like
Mhm.
closer to the ceiling. And I have no explanation. I had somebody like on the phone with me and could hear it through the phone happening. And they're like, well, could that be air moving through? I'm like, air from what? Because I
Right.
didn't have electricity. I didn't have running water. I had nothing. There was nothing. Like, I was literally sitting in that room lit with candles. Because when I moved in here, there was no power, there was no water. And I mean, I was like, I was cooking on a butane stove and using candles.
And running to the gas station for the potty, right?
That's exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I actually went and found that picture of the skull that just says the Stevenson building. I just want to show it real quick so everybody can kind of see it.
Yeah, that's wild.
What she's talking about. That's kind of cool.
It is cool. I'm hoping that I don't have, like, I don't want it to get in. I just wanted to stay just like that. But
Yeah.
now on the other side, another one is forming that looks almost exactly the same.
That's crazy.
Great.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. So cool. Sorry, I was like, I gotta go find this picture.
Yeah,
But you
exactly.
can kind of see what we're talking about here.
It looks cool. I love it. I love that it's, I'm like, it's weird. And I don't get it, but it's super cool. So we just leave it.
So,
So
so
what-
what other? Now, when did you move in? Tell us what happened. So you move in. You've got no water, no electricity, nothing.
Yeah,
And
and it was
how
cold.
quickly did they indoctrinate you into their happy little spooky fold?
Well, you know what? I think more than anything, because when I first owned it, I was the one taking care of it and I was the one here. I was going to work 4 days a week and then driving out here because I still lived in Omaha. And then I would
Mhm.
sleep here 3 days a week and just be cleaning out trash and whatever. So honestly, I feel like it was more of like a welcome home party than anything. It's kind of funny because the one thing that has always happened here is 7 in the morning. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they wake me up every day at 7. And just recently, like 2 weeks ago, I was finally like, look, dudes, I work late. I don't go to bed till 2 or 3 in the morning. This waking me up at 7 o'clock in the morning shit has got to stop. Like, no more. Don't do it. And I don't know if now I'm sleeping through it or not, but it hasn't happened since I've done that.
Wow.
I'm like, mad respect, thanks.
Hey, sometimes
How
that works.
how are they
Sometimes that's
waking
all
you
it
up?
takes.
It sounds like people moving furniture around upstairs.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when there's people upstairs, you can hear, pretty easily, when you're doing events and stuff, you can hear people walking around. You can't really hear people talking, but you can definitely hear people walking. And I had this last event that I had here. I don't know what they were moving furniture for real. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I wake up to every day is that. Before when I owned it before, I woke up because one of them threw a mannequin out the display window, which I have video of the mannequin on the, like, you hear me, like, I just grabbed my phone because I'm laying on the couch and all you see, because he's wearing the yellow hazmat suit, and
Mhm.
all you see is this yellow thing on the floor. And I'm just like, and there were bricks on the base, and I don't expect that they'll fall, but I'm like, just in case, I'm just one of those. And the bricks were shattered on the floor, and the mannequin was face down several feet from the window. And so you hear me like, I'm just like, really? And I,
Wow.
I film it and I'm like, this just happened. And I'm like, and now I'm going back to bed.
Is
Uh,
That's-
there a particular time of day they're more active than others? It seems like the mornings tend to be where they're acting up the most.
Yeah, they're definitely active in the morning, but I mean, stuff kind of happens all day. And I think that's the number one question I get because I'm here all the time. I do have a day job, so well, it's more like a night job, but I do have to go to work and stuff, but I get up and I clean. And I think the other day I did catch it on camera. I had the music playing in the front room and I'm, in the back and I'm working, whatever, and it kept skipping songs on
Yes,
iTunes.
I saw that video.
Yes, and it was getting annoying, and I was like, "Dude, just pick a song." And then it would play a song, and it was happening, and I'm like, "I don't care if you don't like just pick something, like stop flipping through it." And somebody went on my TikTok and was like, "Yeah, my iTunes will change by hitting the Apple Watch too." And I'm just like, "Yeah, too bad I don't own one." So I'm like,
all
I
the
don't.
yeah, all the naysayers. I mean,
I know they're gonna say whatever.
they're
Some
gonna
of the
say whatever.
Yeah, well, they never did respond to "I don't own one," so, that says a lot right there, but
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that
I think that's what I love is like because we know people like you, we know Chad and Leslie Wandell with the Old Park Hotel. I mean, they get a bunch of naysayers as well, and I love how y'all respond to them. It's like I don't own an Apple Watch. Meanwhile, Chad's over here like, here, let me put a camera facing the other way,
let me
and
give
you
you
can
every
capture
camera
this
view.
crap again. So
yeah,
always gonna have those naysayers, and
you are.
what are we gonna do?
I find it more entertaining than anything. I'm just
Yeah.
like, "What do you know? Nothing. You've never been here. You have no
Well, that's
idea."
why I always say
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, whether you like a positive or negative comment, whatever you leave, like you're interacting with our stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
thanks for the
Yeah.
algorithm boost.
That's the most passive
So,
aggressive, "Thanks."
just the thumbs up, yeah. So what is it that you have found out on the history of the building itself? Like we talked about the town and kind of talked about what they do in there, but what is the history of it?
So,
And I'm going to show a picture that I stole from your social media.
you're fine. So Sam Wymore did initially build a building somewhere around 1881 when he founded the town of Wymore. Well, then when he wasn't doing so good, like health wise, and so
Mhm.
he wanted to go to Arizona, and so he left care of the building to the Murdochs. And I'm not really sure what he was really using it for at that point in time, but they were supposed to be just taking care of it, and taking care of the finances for it and this, that, whatever, while the Murdochs ended up stealing quite a bit of money, from Sam Wymore. And so obviously he figured it out and he started a lawsuit, which I have found the lawsuit, between the two of them. So you can actually see the lawsuit going on. And it's weird because the Murdochs, the dad, the God, see, so I'm blanking on names, but the dad everybody was like, oh, he's such a great guy. Not really. That's kind of how it, like, he tried to put himself out there publicly as like this really nice guy, but he was really a real rough and tough kind of wild Western jackass. And that's putting it probably nicely.
Mhm.
And so Sam Wymore starts this lawsuit against him, and Wymore just kept getting sicker and sicker. And so he said, I think this lawsuit's making me sick. He turned the building over to George Stevenson. And unfortunately, Sam Wymore passed away. And then he won the lawsuit. So he didn't even live long enough to
Oh,
realize that he
man.
had won. Well, when George Stevenson took the building over, we know that it was like a financial building. So it was financial in every sense other than it being a bank. It was never a
Mm.
bank.
Okay.
George Stevenson did, however, at some point in time, was the president of the bank here in town. But if you needed a loan, a real estate, whatever, it went through him. Well, he ended up marrying this lady named Nellie Beer, and Nellie came from Chicago. And when Nellie moved here, she ran the railroad. And I'm like, I don't know what women in 1901 really have actual jobs, let alone run a railroad. So then that got me thinking. I'm like, I think this has something to do with the mob. And I started digging and started looking. And another thing that was actually taken from the building, which is really depressing, is down in the basement in the dirt. There were 2 illegal poker chips from the Southland Mafia found in our dirt.
Oh,
Oh,
And
wow.
wow.
those linked Nellie to the Mafia and then the building to that. And then not too long after that, I took a trip to I had a film premiere in Vegas. And
Mhm.
while I was there, I went to the Mob Museum, and they had a map that showed that the railroad here was the only mob owned railroad that went from New York City to Vegas. And I'm like, that makes even more sense.
Yeah.
In talking to the locals around here, Jeremy, who owns the pharmacy just a couple of, like about a block and a half away from here, was telling me that he remembered his dad and his grandpa telling stories of seeing Al Capone actually inside this building. Whether or not I'll ever be able to prove it beyond that is very slim.
Yeah.
Do I believe it? Yes, I do. I wholeheartedly believe it happened, but again, it's not something that I think I'll ever actually be able to prove.
Yeah.
Um, so the mob was very heavy here. There was a lot of talk about the basement itself being used for illegal gambling and bootlegging, and it all makes sense. I mean, it would be weird if it wasn't, more
Right.
so than anything. We know that the upstairs at one point was a dance hall. It's also rumored that it was a brothel for a little while. So I mean, it definitely had its heyday. And I think a lot of it was fronted by it is this, financial building.
Mhm.
And then, of course, as we move through history, um, the Odd Fellows moved in, the KKK moved in.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, and I actually, I have them, but I don't put them on display just for sensitivity
No.
Mhm.
reasons. But there were several different things found in the building that had to do with that itself.
Yeah.
Some of the deaths here have to do with that as well. This was also known as a sundown town. If you don't know what that is, basically, if you weren't the right color, you had till sundown to leave, or you would never leave.
Yeah.
Um, so there's plenty of stories about that. Um, Also, the orphan train kids. I actually had somebody tell me I was a liar for this, and it wasn't, and then I was like, oh, here's the newspaper article. The orphan train kids is during the Depression. A lot of like people who couldn't afford to take care of their kids. I think the initial was 8 children that were put on a train and then sent off to a bigger city. And those 8 kids were adopted by very well to do families. And so then it just became kind of a thing where if you couldn't afford your kid, you would put them on a train, send them to a bigger city, and just kind of have it in your head that like they're getting adopted and whatever. But it was so many kids that
Mm.
what ended up happening was there were more kids just running the streets. And I'm talking, some of them were young, like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, living out on the street.
Or they were made to work in households and were trafficked and yeah.
Yep, all kinds of crazy stuff. And so Wymore was big for orphan train kids. And it's funny because even after someone told me I was a liar about that. I worked at a restaurant and this guy came and he said, "Oh, my mom was one of those orphan train kids." And I was like,
Wow.
how cool is that? So I must have had an hour conversation with that guy. It's fascinating. And there was a lot of bad things that happened then. However, the one good thing is that our social services, child services to this day came from that.
Oh
So
wow.
that's where it
Yeah.
originated. Yeah. So, I mean, it has a lot of history. I mean, the history is just, I don't
That's
know,
a
like I
rich
learn something
history.
every day. It is. And it's crazy because some of these things um I have like video of somebody gave me like a reel of just old videos. And they don't have sound.
Mhm.
That'll just tell you how old they are. And so I was like, oh yeah, I have that footage. And I went looking and some of the stuff that's in there, I was just like, oh my God, like, am I really watching what I'm watching? So it's pretty insane. It's crazy.
Is it just reels of like the history of the town, the building, have to do
It's more or less like, so there was one incident here where there were 5 men that were lynched out front of the building. And up until the 30s or 40s, they had a parade to celebrate this event. And that parade and that celebration is all on film.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I when I watched it, I was just kind of like,
In
I
shock, I would
couldn't believe it.
assume.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because because I made an episode of the Stevenson Building, for Vidi Space and all that, and Amazon and whatever, and I like to incorporate old footage, so I was like looking through that, and I must have sat there for a half an hour rewatching it. Like, am I really watching what I'm watching? And I was.
Yeah, just
Um,
sitting there with your mouth hanging open in disbelief,
I
Yeah.
was, yeah, I
Yeah,
just was.
and that's one of those things when something oh god, when something horrific, happens and takes place in a location, and then it's continually celebrated, I guess, in a way, or that energy is brought back by this. Everybody's coming here for this reason to celebrate this horrific thing that's
Yeah,
happened. I mean, the amount of energy that alone puts into the environment and in the space, the buildings that are around that, again and again and again, like
yeah.
that's wow.
Well, and
Mm,
my goal is to do the best I can because I don't know their story. I don't
yeah.
know that I'll ever be able to find their story. But I'm going to try to find their story. And if I can figure out who they are, I will dedicate the building to them. It will be for them.
Wow.
Because I have a feeling it's going to be a rough story. Is
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
Put them in a place of honor, definitely.
so,
How many
so
rooms are in that building, just out of curiosity?
Oh boy. So the upstairs was 4 different apartments,
Okay.
and
Mm,
each apartment has a bedroom, a living area, a kitchen, and a bathroom.
Okay.
Um, and then so there's those plus then there's the full basement, and then where I'm at right now. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down here. So I mean, there's quite a few, but only one bathroom works. So keep that in mind.
hey, you know what? Paranormal investigation, all you need is one bathroom.
That's
I know.
right.
So I tell him like, please don't use any other bathroom but the one right here.
Yeah.
I don't want to clean that up. I don't even
So
know
so
where it
we're
would end up.
talking
So
so if there's four apartments upstairs with bedroom, living area, kitchen, and bathroom, that's 4 separate rooms for each. So you got at
yes,
least 16 rooms upstairs.
yeah. Well, kind of because like the back 2 apartments, there's a wall missing now. So like,
Okay.
yeah. So some of those rooms are kind of like together. Like I
Okay.
call it the big room because those last two just kind of are like one big
Right.
space sort
Yeah.
of at the
So
moment.
so we're
So,
talking about 30 rooms, 30 to 40 rooms in the building.
yeah,
You got to count the basement
I
because
would,
see,
yeah,
if I ever
I
get
would
up
say
there,
like
that's where I'm
20,
going.
I would say like 26, 27, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So who have you in all of your time there, I guess, have you been able to confirm this kind of two-parter question. Have you been able to confirm intelligent versus residual? And if it's intelligent, have you been able to confirm who or what or any of that?
Figuring out who is like a whole nother level of things.
Yeah.
However, like I would say intelligent is fair to say. Because like, when I tell them to stop waking me up at 7, they do. When
Yeah.
I tell them to pick a song, they do. I play the game all the time and I love the game. There's just this long hallway up there, and I'll sit at the front end, and then I have a REM pod, and then I take another REM pod and I put it all the way at the other end. And mind you, I'll be the only person in here. And I have a Faraday cage for that REM pod. And so I'll make my REM pod go off, and then they make theirs go off. And then I'll be like, do you want to go first? And they'll make it go off, and then I'll make mine go off. And I think pretty much everybody who comes here is convinced that there are kids just playing in that hallway all the time.
I love
Mm.
that.
There's been times where I'm just like, okay, play the game yourself, and they will.
Oh, that's cool.
I have had that happen, and it's my favorite thing to do. I love doing it. I love sitting up there, and I could just do that for hours. Somebody had brought in one of those the tripwires,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they love that thing. We get so many responses from that. We'll tell them light up this one or light up that one or light it up this color or that color. And a lot of times you're getting what you ask for. I would say more often than not, you're getting what you ask for. So
Love that. Oh, have fun.
it is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. So um, there's just this one angry guy who likes to punch the wall.
I
And
was just about to ask, is there one that gives you more trouble than the other ones, or an angrier one, or some places have aggressive ones? You have any
yeah,
of those in there?
so there's just this one that punches the wall. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he's angry or not angry, or maybe that's the only way he can, or she. I don't even know if it's a he or she. People say it's a he, because I'm not the only one who's heard it. And I do have it on film, at least once. So I don't know. I don't know why it happens. I don't know that I'll ever be able to figure it out.
Right.
But that's really the only one that really I just question. But I don't really think, I just don't, I'm not one of those people who think everything's demonic. I really don't
No,
think anything. I think living people are far more demonic than anything I'm
I
going to find
agree with
anywhere
that.
else. So, yeah, I just think it's a matter of respect, honestly.
Mhm.
And,
You never know. It may be arm day. Maybe they're working out their arms. You never know. Maybe that's all it is.
it could be. But if that's the case, he's not doing it near enough.
Don't you judge him.
Don't even gender him. What are you doing, Shelley?
I don't know. You said him. I went with it. I went with your collective he.
She's assuming genders over there.
You did. I just went with you.
Well, I
Now
mean,
she's
come
trying to
on.
blame me. Stop projecting.
I mean, come on. Like punching a wall is.
The look on her face.
Let's
I love
face
you,
it.
Shelley.
Punching a wall is more of a masculine quality
It really
than,
is.
than a feminine quality. Like
Oh no, my kids have pissed me off good enough.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that women don't do it, but
No,
the
I've
majority
never
of
actually done that. But
Yeah, I don't usually break my own shit. I break somebody else's shit. If it's my building, my house, I'm not breaking my own wall.
yeah, no kidding. True story. That's
Yeah,
so valid.
I
That's
love
so
that
valid.
that you bring up the fact that might be the only way that they know how to communicate, because that's where a lot of people don't stop to think about things like that.
Yeah.
That truly may be the only way that spirit knows how to communicate, by getting your attention and punching the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Behind you. Just hopefully it don't do it like right when your head's like leaned against it or something, Just
Yeah,
bam.
but I will tell, and that's the thing. Like, I know that it's happened. Like, aside from hearing it, because I'm sure you've seen the videos of, like, I'm just obsessed with the ceiling tile in this place. I'm obsessed with it. But it does. It is the original copper ceiling.
Mhm.
And what they did with the original ceilings was they would put one coat of paint on it. They would paint it so it's white, mostly. Well, because it's only one coat of paint, it is starting to come off. It's flaking off, which is fine,
Mhm.
because then this amazing colors are coming. It's gorgeous. Well, when the punching happens, paint chips fall off.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, so it's like physically like shaking the building. Yeah, and you can hear it. It sounds like it's raining. It's raining paint chips basically in the front room.
Huh.
Awesome.
And then I'm like, damn it, I just swept.
And then it makes you want to punch a wall because you didn't
Oh,
know to do
but the thing is like where it happens, like that's where like you can see so much of the paint just you can tell that it's coming off there and but I don't care because it's like this beautiful shiny copper and it's so pretty.
Have you ever thought that
Christy's over
maybe
here
he
being like,
might
no,
be assisting you in
Yeah.
renovating?
as I say, like
What's
keep
that?
punching the walls.
He's
Yeah, and
assisting you in renovating.
they
He's
could
like,
be.
I know she wants this off, so I'm going to keep punching this to help her get that off there.
And they could be because let me tell you something. This is one of the craziest things that I have experienced here is I will need something and then there it is. It's so weird. So you probably saw the video where the basement is like leaking. And we figured out that part of that reason is it's like a bunch of patchwork that was done because that's where the old coal chute was. And so whoever patched it did a horrible job. There's a lot of patchwork that's just been horribly done. And so I have to dry the basement out because we need new supports down there. So I have to get it to stop leaking. And so the best solution that I have at the moment was to hang the plastic out back.
I saw that video.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I needed this plastic and I had gone to the store and it was there and I was like, what? I think I'm just going to try trash bags first and see if that works. And I came home and I'm getting ready to do it. And here in the back room is the biggest roll of clear plastic. And I was like, where did that come from? I mean, like, I'm sure it's been there, but where did it come from? Why didn't I notice it before? Maybe it's because I didn't need it. I don't know, but I go over this stuff all the time. When I was replacing the flooring up front by the door and I was sanding, I ran out of sandpaper. And so I went to find it's like a special, like sticky sandpaper, whatever. And they didn't have it at the store. So I was like, well, I'll just buy this other stuff and I'll tape it on myself, something, right? Well, when I got back, I go upstairs and there's a whole packet of this sandpaper just sitting there. And I'm like, where did that come from?
I'd be walking around being like, where did I misplace that $1 million at? I cannot remember.
It's funny that you say that because today I was cleaning out the the kitchen cabinets. There was like paint, like it all needed to be cleaned out. And
Yeah.
so I'm looking at this drawer and I kind of out loud said, you know what? It'd be really great if there was a bunch of money in there. There was only about 75 cents in there, but there was still money in it. And I was just like,
But that may have been a bunch of money when that building was built.
that probably not so much. That probably came from before because that wasn't always there. So yeah. So
But your spirit that's helping you do that may have thought that was a bunch of money.
it could have been, I
Been
mean,
like,
75
that's enough.
cents in 1881 was a good chunk of change. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that he may have thought, hey, I'll just make sure she finds this. She'll be happy with this. 75 cents.
It went right in the
Anything for you,
donation
baby.
jar. Yeah. It went right in the donation jar. There it went. So but it's just funny. It's so funny to me, like how that just keeps happening. And after, the things that sat in here for 3.5 years with no heat and the things that still work, all the lights in the display cases, all the LEDs still work.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
The black light still works. I'm like, what is happening? I don't know. It's just crazy the amount of things that still just work. And you would think they wouldn't, especially living in Nebraska where it gets like below zero.
Yeah.
And no temperature control. And it's all just fine. It's amazing.
I'm going to tell you that where I want to know about, because I want to know about my favorite part of every building. Tell me about the basement. What goes on in the basement?
A whole lot of leaking.
Just leaking?
No, there's people talk a lot about seeing shadow figures down there a lot, especially towards the back. The basement is definitely super creepy. Like that basement is just it's probably one of the more creepy basements. There is a random mound of dirt. It is a dirt floor. However, and I can't tell you how many people are like, I swear there's bodies under there. I'm
Probably
like,
is.
I'm like, I don't know about that. But it's just this random pile of dirt. There's things that are, down there that I'm like, where did this come from? It was hoarded, so I'm not too like weirded out about that. There's still some really strange. I got to go through some that it's just weird. Hot water heaters keep appearing. That's one thing I don't understand. I keep finding old hot water heaters. They're everywhere, and I don't understand it, but it's weird. But a lot of people do see like shadow figures down there. Most people are freaked out going down there. This last event, a lot of people spent a lot of time down there. They got a lot of responses, a lot of
Hmm.
EVPs and spirit boxes, and somebody sent me a video, and I'm not big on orbs. I'm going to tell you, but this one video they sent me, I'm like, it could be a bug, but I don't know. It's really weird. It's definitely not dust.
Yeah.
It's not even shaped like dust. It changes form. So I don't, I don't know what it is.
I'm the same. I have the same mentality about it as you
Mhm.
do. So I'm like, I'm not huge on orbs, but if you got an interesting one,
Let me see it.
let me see it.
Yeah, take a look at it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
sent it to me and I was just like, oh boy. And then I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I'm gonna post it because I would like some opinions. I've definitely seen a lot of bugs on video too, and it almost to me looks like a weird piece of like paper or something flying by, but I'm just like, where
Hmm.
would that even come from? It doesn't fit,
Hmm.
so I'm not saying it's paranormal. I'm just saying I don't know what the hell it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
I just want to know what I'm in for when I come to the Stevenson building and head down to the basement because that is where I will go.
I mean, I think it ranks up there as probably one of the creepiest basements anybody will ever go in. Part of that is because it needs some TLC really bad, but
It's
um
okay.
but yeah, so the basement is, I think, the only building in town that originally had 4 tunnel entrances and exits. Supposedly one of the tunnels went to the Grand Wizard's house of the
Oh
cake, and
shit! Wow.
I only know that because the person whose kid, it was his grandkid, told me that. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like I hear stories all over, and you hear stories from locals everywhere. But whether or not they're true, um, you just never know. You
Yeah,
don't
you have to
know.
separate the fact from the folklore.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want to believe people, but without actual proof, like I hesitate to say it. And that's really all it is. I just feel like you should prove everything. And so that's kind of where I'm at with stuff. But
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. I would agree with you on that. That's the hardest thing about the paranormal is because like it's not that we don't want to believe people, but the documentation always helps.
it
It
does.
always backs up the claims. It always helps to expand the story a little bit more.
Mhm.
So it's good and healthy to have that kind of skeptical mindset
It
of
is.
stories that you hear.
It is. And you know what, this town, like, so the people that just built the inn and the coffee shop, the lady I guess wanted to meet me, so I made time and I went down there to talk to her, and she just looked at me and she goes, "So you're doing occult stuff down there?" I'm like, "No."
I
Uh,
was just about to ask the question how is receptive is the
um,
town to this?
90% of them are like on board, but then there's the biddies, and that's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
call them, the biddies. They hate me for bringing up bad history. I'm weird, I'm crazy. I'm like, yeah, wait until I put up my display window. Now they're really creeped out. But I don't care. I love it. I love that people stop and film it. They stop and take pictures. They take pictures in front of it. I'm like, yeah, keep it coming. It's great. But it's really just the biddies. And they make me laugh more than anything. So I'm like, you don't
Well,
really have a choice but to accept this. So,
Yeah.
I mean
Stop
that's
trying to sanitize history.
mhm.
well, and that's the thing is that my goal, at least, is to be the one in town that people will cross the street to not walk on the same side of the street as my house, and they're like, "That's where the witch lives." That's my goal, and it sounds like you've hit that with 10% of the town. So
Oh,
I envy you.
10%. The other 90%. I mean, well, because the funny thing is actually is right across the street is the grocery store. It's this tiny
Oh
little
God,
grocery. which I've investigated that grocery store because they have reported like things flying off the shelves over there and all kinds of great. And you can actually really see one of the tunnel entrances in their basement, which is super cool. And it like lines right up with, so you could 100% go from, if the tunnels were open, you could just go in a tunnel and just right under the street, right to the grocery store. And I am pretty sure it wasn't always I don't know what it was before, but it's super cool that it like just you can tell it's so cool. But I'll go outside, like I'll just walk outside, like I'm going to work or I'm taking guard, whatever I'm doing, and somebody will see me and come over here. Hey, how you doing? How are you? How's the
I love that.
building? And we hate Polson. Like, yes. And he was the one of the other people who owned it, and the outpouring of people who are just so happy that I'm here and that I'm back and that I own it again has been, I just love
That's
them all.
amazing.
It's incredible. I love all of them.
So
So-
where in the town is the building situated? Is it on a square? Is it just off the square? Is it down to like where exactly? Because you're saying that there's a grocery store across the street, tunnels connected. So I'm assuming in my brain, just want clarification for me and anybody else who may be confused about kind of where the setup is, the building is with the town.
So this would be where I'm at, would be like the old Main Street. So there's
Okay.
what highway is that? There's a highway that goes from Beatrice, and then it just kind of goes through, like if you blink, you'll miss it kind of
Mhm.
road. And then you come back a few blocks. It's like 7 blocks from that road, and it's the old highway. It's basically the
Oh,
business district. And so this is where like the Main Street was for, for all those years. So, and then the railroad is, the old railroad station is 3 blocks down.
Mhm.
And then there's this, it's called Hope Lymore, and it's an old folks home. It was an old folks home. And they just had, where they turned it into like an assisted living for like mentally impaired people. And
Mhm.
they got shut down this last year because there was a mysterious death there. So
wow.
that building, and I've been trying and trying and trying to get in there for investigations as well, but unfortunately the biddies have taken over and they don't want me anywhere near it. However, I feel like eventually I'm going to win this argument. So
Yeah, I think so too. And you call me when you do.
Well, I
Well-
hope that you do, because I was sorely disappointed when I was unable to get into a, I guess defunct, I guess you could say decommissioned old person's home in East Texas, and then it got demolished before I could get into it.
oh, that
So
sucks.
I hope you, because everybody kept telling me the thing in the basement, and I'm like, I'm sorry, the thing in the basement? Go, rewind real quick. Like what?
What thing in the
What
basement?
thing in the basement? So hopefully you do get to get in there.
Yeah, well, they turned it into a community center, so eventually I'm just going to rent it and not tell them what I'm doing. And I have every right to do that. I do, however,
Allegedly.
right when they were turning it into the assisted living, whatever, for the mentally impaired, I had actually gone down there and talked to the people that were like buying it, going to run it, whatever, and they gave me one of the priest outfits that they found in there, so I have that.
Oh my god.
Oh, like, yeah, there's video and photos of me on a Sunday, and I'm wearing this priest outfit, and then I have like on one of those tuberculosis masks, and I'm holding a cross and a doll, and I'm just walking through town on a
And you wonder
Sunday.
why the biddies don't like
I
you, girl.
was about to say,
I
I'm sure
did
the
it. I
biddies
did it
love
in
that.
response to that. I'm a legend in this town. Okay, I got drunk one night and stole a train, and that has been it from that point on. And yes,
You
it's
wait,
on
told
wait,
us
wait,
video.
wait,
that.
wait.
No, she's told us that story.
Yes,
You told us
and
that
so
story at
yep,
Phenomicon last year.
I did tell you that story. Yep.
Right, but
did.
not on the air. So now everybody wants to know the story just because you just mentioned it.
I know they
You
have to.
stole a train.
If you come here and go to the bar, they will and say you know me, they will tell you that story because the bar owners were with me. Okay. And they were doing it too because we went and picked them up on the train. But it was like one of those little kid trains, for the parade. So, but, I mean, it has a motor, you drive it. And I just had this idea because I was drunk. And my friend was like, I have a key. And it's like 2, 3 in the morning. So by the time we get to the train with the key, there's like 10 people siphoning gas from their cars to fill up this train. And then we get on and we just driving it up and down Main Street, go pick up the bar owners, and we're just up and down on this train. Um, and then we park it in front of the building. And I think pretty much all of us passed out in here. The next day I get a call from the cops and just like, Christy, put it back. I'm like, how the fuck you know it's me?
I'd been like, I have been framed, sir. I have been framed. Anybody could have left that train out there. I don't have a key.
I think the best part of it though was that they donated it to the Rails West Museum in Council Bluffs because I worked there.
Oh god. Okay, yeah.
I
So you
love
said
that.
Council Bluffs Squirrel Cage Museum. Yeah.
It's a fun story and
Or
no one
jail.
was mad.
Yeah.
So that's all that really counts. I could have gotten a lot of trouble
All that
probably.
matters.
Nah. You didn't
So
do
you-
any damage to it, right? You're fine.
Well, somebody rolled it. However,
Allegedly.
I was not on it when they rolled it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I think that was Fred, actually.
Allegedly, it was Fred. All names have been
Yes,
changed for
it
Jack
was.
guilty.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do nothing about it now. I ain't even worried about it.
God. So you said you
I-
run events there, like public events. What kind of events do you run? Just investigations, or you do other types?
So it's well, we kind of started out slow. So I was doing tours. We will be doing tours all day for Sam Wymore Days coming up in June. And that's like I think $10 or $15. I don't remember what I put on there. To come and just do a day tour. And then we do the last event we had was until 2 a.m. Investigation. We're going to be doing some overnights coming up. For those that don't know, I do work with Squirrel Cage for their paranormal now out in Iowa. And so we're going to do like a Paragypsy weekend where we go to Squirrel Cage and then we come here. So it'll be 2 nights, 2 locations. Also the Renegades, the York Mortuary that I've been working with her, will be doing events as well, just like that. So that'll be a lot of fun. I haven't done that yet, so I'm excited for that. And then of course people can rent it out, and I'm trying to keep the cost low because most of the money that is made goes just into renovations. And I say most because some of it goes to pay the bills as well.
Yeah.
To keep the lights on and the water running, which is not a lot, but it counts. So pretty much every dime that people spend on events and not only does that go back into the building, but I have a job so that I can keep paying for it too.
Right.
That's literally everything I do for the most part. Every dime that I make, whether it's an event or my job, like 90% of it is going back into this place. So
I love that. Preserving the paranormal in the old buildings. I love that.
yes.
So how can they book with you if they would like to book with you?
Just message the Haunted Stevenson building, or they can message on my Facebook page. Either way is fine.
You want to spell your name for them?
It's Ayers is
Down at the bottom.
AYERS. Just look up. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CHRSTIE.
I know. I don't know why that seems so weird and awkward for me
Well,
to do.
no,
but-
I guess so, because we also do audio versions of this. So CHRISTIE and then Ayers AYERS. So there we go.
Thanks.
If you're only listening to audio,
Find her on Facebook. Message her if you'd like to book the Stevenson building, or go to the Stevenson building webpage. Where's
Yep,
their Facebook page?
it's under the Haunted Stevenson building, and it's Facebook. I don't have a web page yet,
Okay.
mainly because my son is building the web page, and I'm waiting till I have internet so I can run the server from here.
Perfect.
So-
okay, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, but you can book it there, so you can go and book you a night, see what she's got open, go do one of those other events, go to the Squirrel Cage jail and see her there. We prefer you go to the Stevenson building because that is a new location to go and investigate. She's putting it back on, she's renovating it, and she's going to make it right for you. Remember, only one working bathroom right now. So,
I know, for the moment.
that's right. And with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know about us?
All right, sounds good. Hold on just a little bit. Got a few announcements and we'll get this wrapped up. If you want to support our show directly, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/EVP podcast. For just $5 a month, you'll unlock over 500 Patreon exclusive videos, including the pre and post broadcast, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast. So you do get an additional hour with us each week. Also, make sure you stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and many more by searching Everything Vaguely Paranormal and looking for the green sound wave. And remember, you can catch us live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to our Eventbrite page as well. We currently have about 6 events going on throughout the year, so go check out our tickets for that. And to make all this easier, we're going to add this to our link tree, which will be on the Facebook and X profiles Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as well as in the show notes for you audio listeners. Y'all, we are grateful for your continued support. Every like, comment, share, and download keeps the adventures alive. So if you have a favorite episode, share it with our friends. Remember, one of the easiest things you can do to help out our rankings and the show is to go over wherever you get your audio from, download our entire catalog, and leave us a review. And if you have a story, comment, or question, or would like to be a guest on the show or have us as guest on your show, email us at the ebppod@gmail.com. That is THEEBPPOD@gmail.com.
Go like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Say hello. Let us know you were here. So we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on Everything Vaguely Paranormal. We want to thank our very special guest, Miss Christie Ayers, owner of the Stevenson Building in Wymore, Nebraska. Cannot believe I got that right. But Christy, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
Yes, thank you.
I always love hanging out with y'all.
So wait, back at you. Ditto.
Right back at you. Well, for myself, I am Shelley Pruitt, my partner in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith. Thank you for being here. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.